Hello friends, welcome to SahuStudies. In this video, I am going to discuss about difference between aggregate by key and combine by key in PySpark. So both are transformation operation used to perform aggregation on the values associated with each key in the pair IDD. They are slightly different in service the purpose. They offer different level of control over the aggregate function. So I will going to discuss in detail, but let's understand this point. Like it will going to do a transformation function on the pair RDD, and the pair RDD, the data point is present in key and the value pair, and once the data is get aggregated over data is merged for each key on top of the value associated values, we are performing the aggregation, and it provides the slightly different level of control whenever we are going to write the aggregation function. So aggregate by key and the combined by key will going to provide different kind of a control over the writing of a custom aggregation function. So let's discuss about aggregate by key. So aggregate by key is a fundamental transformation function. It is optimized broader transformation. So what does it means, optimized broader transformation? So if the transformation is broader or wider, so what it will going to do, it will going to shuffle the data across different executor over the network. But the good part is that it shuffles the data at the very last stage of the transformation process. That's why it makes it very much optimized. It is helpful if there is a requirement of aggregation and the input and the output are the different. So suppose there is a RDD. The RDD is present in one format. We have used the aggregate by key, and if you want that the output will be in the different format, so such type of scenario is there, then we need to use aggregate by key. The aggregation which is supported by aggregate by key are mean, max, average, sum, etc. It aggregates value of each key using combine function and this neutral zero value and return the different type of value for that particular key. So let's understand this point in detail, right? So what the aggregate function generally does, it combines all the values of a key. But how the combination process will going to happen? The combination process is going to happen with the help of aggregate function. But this aggregation function is happening at the per partition label. To initialize the accumulator with zero value, we use this neutral zero value. This is the main purpose of the neutral zero value, is that it is going to initialize the accumulator per partition label with zero. And when the aggregation is going completed and the data will going to return, maybe the data is of a different type than the data which we have processed it, and the data which is present initially in the form of a key and value pair in the pair RDD, on which we have used this aggregate by key function. It is useful when you need to perform both per key aggregation and change the value type during the aggregation process. It takes two arguments, sequence function and combine function. So same thing it is there. So first, if you want to perform the aggregation on the per key label, and if you want to change the return type, then we can use with the help with the means that scenario can be able to achieve with the help of aggregate by key. So whenever we are doing this aggregate by key, so generally we pass two function as an argument in aggregate by key function. One is the sequence function and one is the combine function. This sequence function is going to apply aggregate function per partition. Once this aggregate function completed, then combine by key function takes all the results from the different partition, combine it and give you the final result. Aggregate by key operation allow you to aggregate the value for each key value while others maintaining the aggregated value different type from the original value. This is the same thing, right? So suppose we are going to process the data with the help of an aggregate by key on the RDD where data is stored in the key and value pair. And if you want to process the data with the help of aggregate by key, the data could be different. Means the resultant data could be different than what the data we have input. Let's discuss aggregate by key with the help of this pictorial representation. So suppose this is the three partition which sits in the different executor. So what on top of this partition we are going to use sequence operation. This sequence operation is going to perform on each and every partition and merge the value in the partition. So how the data is getting merged? IT is merged like this. The key, this is the key and this is the value. From where this is coming, this is the one data point IT key, another IT key data point is this one. So one key IT and the data point is 1 and 1. It is coming from here and it is coming, another is coming from here. Let's talk about the management. This is the management data point which present in this RDD in the form of key and value pair. And once this sequence operation is happening, the data point will be merged like this. The same goes for marketing, same goes for finance, same goes for operation. Same thing happening here also and same thing is happening here also. When this sequence operation takes place and the merging of the value in each partition taken place, then this shuffling process start and here it's merge value from the different partition. So this value, this IT's value is coming from this partition as well as this partition as well as this partition. We can see this is the IT key and two value 1 and 1 is coming from here, this one and this one, and this one and this one is coming from here, and these two values are coming from here. So here it is merging the data from the different partition. And hence, here the data shuffling process will going to take place. So same it is merging for management, for marketing, finance, and for operations. So now we have understand this better how the aggregate by key function generally works in PySpark. So let's discuss about combine by key. Okay, what is the combine by key? So combine by key is a transformation function. It performs transformational operation on the pair RDD. Whenever we want to do any kind of a transformation with the help of a combine by key, the data must be in the pair RDD and the data point must be in the key and the value pair. It is a generic function to combine element of each key using custom sets of aggregation function. So whenever there is a requirement to do a transformation on the key and the value pair with custom aggregate function. So with the help of a combine by key, we can able to achieve it, because in the combine by key we can write a custom aggregate function. One of the main objective of combine by key transformation is that it transforms the pair RDD, which is present in the key and the value pair, to RDD in the form of key and C. C will be the result of any aggregation. So what does it mean? It means that combine by key operation or function going to take place on the pair RDD, and the data point is present in the key and the value pair. And when the transformation function applied with the help of a combine by key, the resultant RDD will looks like this. This is the key and this is the C. And C is the result of any aggregation. Suppose we want to do aggregation on RDD for max, or you want to do aggregation sum, if you want to do aggregation minimum, average. So C will be like this. If you are going to do the sum aggregation, the result would be the sum aggregation. If you want to do figure out the max value, so it will going to take a C will be the max value which is present in this key in that particular RDD. If there is a requirement to perform custom aggregation on the value of a pair RDD while providing fine-grained control over the aggregation process, so we should use combine by key function. As I told you, we can use custom aggregation function. If there is a requirement to write a custom aggregation function, then we should use combine by key. Whenever we are going to use the combine by key, it takes 3 parameter as an argument. 3 parameter. Okay. So this is the initial value. So what is the initial value? What it will going to do? It will going to initialize the accumulator per partition. This combination function, what it will going to do? It will going to combine the values of key within each partition. And what is the merge function it will going to do? It will going to collect the result of the different partition and give you the final result. So let's understand this combine by key function with the help of a pictorial representation. So combine by key generally very similar to reduce by key. The only difference is that during the coding we need to write 3 functions. So let's understand, this is the one partition, this is the another partition, and this is the another partition. So this is the data points, this is the data points. So locally it will apply the aggregation function. So suppose we are doing this sum aggregation here. So it's locally aggregated first. So this is the A and this is the locally aggregated result for key A. This is locally aggregated result for key B. Here there are 2 data points for key A and B, and this is the locally aggregated value of key A, and this is the locally aggregated value of key B. For this partition, this is the locally aggregated value of key A, and this is the locally aggregated value of key B. Once the aggregation performed locally, then what it will going to do? It will surface the data across different partition. So it's created 2 partition, this one and this one, and this data points are coming from this partition. So A1 is coming from this partition. This is the result of locally aggregated function which implemented in this partition. This A2, this is the result of locally aggregated value which has been taken place in this partition, and this A3 is the locally aggregated value of this partition which has been taken place over this partition. Same for B. So we have seen with the help of a sequence, this locally aggregation is happening with the sequence operation, and this merging part is doing with the help of a merge. Right? We have seen here there are 2 functions are there. One is the combination function that combine the values within the different partition, and the merge function to combining result across different partition. Then what is the difference? Okay, so let's discuss about the aggregate by key. It allows the custom aggregation logic. We have discussed that whenever there is a requirement to write the custom logic in the aggregation function, we should use aggregate by key. It maintains the aggregated value in a different type. So whenever there is a requirement that the end result would be of a different type, then we can use aggregate by key. It does partial aggregation before suppling. As I discussed here, this is the aggregation is happening on the per key label, and after that aggregation, the suppling process is going to apply. So this point is talking that only. It provides more flexibility in defining custom aggregation function. So there's a 2 custom aggregation function, or we can see this one. These are the 2 custom aggregation functions. So we can write a custom logic in it. So if there's a requirement to do a custom logic, or if you want to perform aggregation based on the custom logic, then we can use with the help of aggregate by key. It contains the memory and performance with the help of aggregated function. So we can see here, no, this is the aggregated function, the sequence operation and the merge value operation. So it with the help of this, what it will going to do, we can control over the memory, because when with the help of a sequence, this one I'm talking about, this one is going to reduce the data. So suppose here the data is 1 MB. When this sequence operation and merging the value in the partition happen, the data could be 1 MB only. So there is a huge reduction of the data. And when the shuffling process is going to happen here, it will become very fast, because the data is very small in size here. This combined by key is it's allow more flexibility in the custom aggregation logic. So if you want to do more flexibility in writing the custom aggregations, then we need to use combined by key. So this is the two functions, right? Combination function and the merge function. So we can write custom logic here. It allows a specified function creating the initial value, merging the value, and merging the value across different partitions. So let's talk about this only. So first, this is the initial value. It will going to initialize the accumulator on each partition. Here, this combination function will combine the value of the each key in within the partition, and this merge function will going to accumulate all the results from the different partition and give you the final result. So this point is talking that only. It offers more control over the memory management and the performance by defining appropriate aggregate function. As we have seen here, that first locally it is doing the aggregate function locally, the data is become very small. So suppose here here the data is 1 MB. When the result comes, it becomes 1 MB, right? Same goes for here, and when the shuffling will going to happen, the shuffling of the data will going to happen for the 1 MB only, for 1 MB from here, 1 MB from here, and 1 MB from here. And those data points are very small. It will going to fit into the memory, and when the shuffling start across different executor over the network, it will become very fast. It requires more effort in implementation. As I told you, there's a two different function we need to write. Three function you can write. So to write the custom function, it will always going to take more effort. That's why I have written here that it requires more effort in the implementation of combined by key function. So in this video, we have seen what is the difference between aggregate by key and combined by key. Thank you. If you like content of my video, then please subscribe my channel, like it, comment on it, and press the bell icon to get notification whenever I add videos.